Right, okay, straight into the build then of the HMS hood. So the very first step is to build the gun turrets, 4 of them, which I have cut out here. Oh, by the way, everything has been sprayed, undercoated, and then I've sprayed it again with kind of the light grey battleship finish. It is just a paint I had in the garage. It looks very light grey, but then when I compare it to the paint scheme that you'll see later, it actually looks pretty spot on. So I've sprayed that, so everything is sprayed and ready. Building the turrets, found the turrets themselves, looking for the guns. And one thing I have noticed with this kit, or the mouldings, and I couldn't find the guns anywhere. Here are the guns, and you can see that they are basically, if that focuses, within this huge bit of plastic, and the moulding just hasn't differentiated each one. So I'm going to have to basically cut that huge wad out and then individually work through all the guns. I have heard that some of Airfix's castings or mouldings can be a little bit iffy. That's probably the worst I've seen. I mean, there's some other bits there you can see around, whatever these are, these kind of flaky bits. So yeah, going to work on that and get those built. Okay, right. Guns all cut out, mounted on the turrets, and you don't glue them. They can pivot and move, but obviously it's not going to be necessarily used in that way. All the other small, I don't know what they call these, like, I know them as pom-pom guns, but maybe that's not right. They've all been mounted, which you can see there's a bunch of them down the side. This top plate's been stuck on. The hull, dun dun dun, big reveal, has been glued. That is the largest 2 bits of Airfix I've ever had to glue together, and the contact point was tiny, and it was a bit of a mess, or a bit of a pig to do, but the best way to let it glue was just to set it down upside down and let it kind of fall into each other, and it's actually come out pretty much perfect. So that was the bit I was worried about the most. The next bit I'm worried about is that long section, which is a bit bowed, resting on the top and sitting inside. We will crack on with that though, and see if we can get step 1 finished, which is basically gluing these 2 bits on the top of the hull, and then you've got the mounting. Right, update. So I left you with kind of having glued the hull together, with this long section was needing to go on, and then following that there was some propeller system. I wouldn't call it a drivetrain, which we'll call it a boat, but propeller system to be put on the side. Quite fiddly, little pieces to go on, a couple of funnels to be made, and then you start adding the superstructure. So here we go. Here's the reveal of the progress. Dun dun dun. So let's have a bit of a close-up. I have glued on the propeller mechanisms, but not the propellers yet, because they need to be painted a different colour. So that is on, if that's focused nice. These top plates are all on. This big long section was a bit of a killer. I did it in about 3 sections, glued it, and then managed to get glue in and bent it and glued it a bit more. Lots of elastic bands, but that's all gone on fine. And then the next step is to kind of build this superstructure, if we can get it in focus. So gradually layering, as you can see here, layering bits and pieces up. I'm currently in the middle of this one, where we just build the tower more, and in fact the pieces are cut out here and ready to go on. So she's coming on nice, she's looking good. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the painting and making it perfect, but hopefully we'll do a good job. So that is the hood. We are up to step 5 now. Actually no, cancel, step 7.